everybody starts seeing things with more love, and that we're all together here. We're all one. To that point, everybody's isolated, and you're good, you're bad, and everything like that. But you have to understand that applies at the cellular level. This is why raw foods are essential. You can't regenerate tissue at the fundamental level of cooked foods and dead animal meat and stuff like this. It's just impossible, because we're eating intelligence. When you're eating a piece of fruit, you're eating intelligence. You're eating chemistry and you're eating physics, but you're also eating God. You have to understand, you're eating at a lot of different levels here. It's just these higher levels of awareness and consciousness and energetics are not well understood, because we're still lost in this fundamental thinking of chemistry. And you have to add chemistry with physics if you want to understand anything. To a chemist, everything's inorganic, basically. You know, and I've had my own way of looking at inorganic and organic. And organic is consciousness, that everything's tied together, everything is holistic, nothing is isolated. Isolates are inorganic. They lack the power and the magnetics. They're not readily absorbed into the body. They're isolated. They cause side effects. It's where pharmaceutical companies don't get it. You don't isolate chemistry in this world. You're isolating God, and therefore you have much more of an abrasive effect. So the generation of genetics is important to understand, because we see it all the time. That's the beauty of God, is the ability to go beyond, the ability to take what is in the moment and expand it even greater, or isolate it down and destroy it. But you can't really destroy it, but you can break it down to its most constipated states, its most inert or inorganic states. So understanding and letting your ability to be aware is important in understanding how genetics works and how creation is set up, because it'll help you in your spirituality. It'll help you the rest of your life to go beyond physical, mundane chemistry and get into more of the physics, the quantum physics, into spirituality, and get above things and see. It's a lot different view standing on the beach looking over to the ocean, and standing on a 10,000 foot mountaintop and looking out over the land. A big difference. Big difference in getting in a helicopter and flying around and being John Glenn and being near the moon and looking back. Big difference in the view. And that's the point. It's a big difference in the view when you stop thinking and you stop talking and you live in the present moment as much as you can. It's a big view change. But then you must start asking the question, then who's the viewer? And then that takes you deeper into this world. So I apologize to get taken off on that, but I think it's real important today that we learn, at least allow ourselves to expand and understand how creation's put up, because that's how you're put together. That's how you as soul operate here in creation. If you understand that, it'll help you. And it'll help you understand that you're so much more than this physical body and the pain and suffering you're in. You have to quit identifying with your bodies and separate yourself and learn the rules of the road. Each plane has different rules to it. And I'm giving you some of the rules for this plane. All right. I'm glad you guys like that iridology. I thought it came out pretty cool. It's online, of course, and everything, but just keep that in mind that many people view different things, like the yellow rings around the body. You'll see a lot of different things. So, and it doesn't matter. You know, if you get the fundamental basics and stuff, you really can see that person and see what they're suffering with, understand how you identify the lymph. I'll get deeper into it and we will really expand that. Lyme's. This is a question that I have an adult daughter who has Lyme disease. Everybody has Lyme disease, sweetheart. Katrina. I mean to tell you, it's another catch-all drawer. I can only tell you that Lyme's, lupus, fibromyalgia, all this stuff is one thing, and that is systemic acidosis. And systemic acidosis occurs when the lymph system isn't moving well. Whether one has a viral load, a bacterial load, we'll always have bacterial loads, hopefully. But obviously, there's gnarly bacteria out there, no question about it. And viruses, they either going to take a hold or they're not. But it all is relative to culturing mediums and weak cells. Those two things reflect cells and the fluids that take care of them. Culturing medium, the sewer system, and cells, strong or weak. Because you have to understand cells, even though it may not seem scientific, but cells have all levels of vibrancy, all levels of health, just like people do. And someone asked me why some people survive chemotherapy. There are a few, and when you start going up past 5 years and 10 years, the number gets quite small, but there are some that have, no question. Some eat better, that helps them. Most of the people that do survive, though, have George Burns genes. There's no question about it. I've seen this all and over again. Don't fool yourself. It isn't as large of a group as you think. And as you start going up to 5 years and 10 years, you start seeing that group go way down. But there are some, no question about it. Not saying there isn't. But if you're going to Las Vegas and you see 95% of what you gamble with, you're going to lose, and only 5% you're going to make it, you're going to win, are you going to gamble on that 5%? You know, most people wouldn't, especially if they work hard and they save their money. They're not going to go and only have a 5% chance to win. And that's what it is with chemo. You only have a 5%, and I might be pushing that figure. Look at the Berinsky show, and it shows you some of the percentages of people that survive. Doesn't say past 5 years, but it does show you the percentages of people that survive chemo with, say, brain cancer and things like this. And it ain't very much. At least Berinsky's up around 25%. Still not very good considering our field gets around 90-95%. So, big difference. If you want to run that risk, go ahead, but I'd first get the iridology done. Because you look at a lot of, the older people can survive better, no question. Their cells are stronger, their limbs are moving better. So most of the younger people, they don't do well with chemo at all because they're genetically compromised. Much more. No one does well with it. Don't make that mistake. It's not candy. So this is the thing that you have to understand. You have to look at where you're gambling here. And I think it will be a crime whenever our criminal justice department decides to be honest and start really focusing on truth and reality instead of political crap and all the money. When we start having truth and honesty in our judicial system, I think I'm going to die and have a heart attack. Because it'll be like, that'll be the change of the world. Because honesty, integrity, and law is something this country has a big lacking. And yet we stick our chests out like we have a lot of it. And look at the Italians, no offense, but I mean, you know, we have serious problems in law all around the world, no question. Too bad. Too bad, you know. Honesty and integrity is the only hallmarks that should exist. And you know, and the rights and the freedoms of others. But anyway, everybody's got lines to a certain extent in the way medical looks. You could call it an autoimmune problem. Here's another autoimmune disease. What your daughter has is weak kidneys, weak adrenal glands. She's got a lymph system that needs to be moved because this systemic acidosis or systemic inflammation is the precursor to all the breaking down of cells that they call cancer or any other thing. You know, the arthritis, they're all cut from the same wood, same tree. You know, these are not different things, and you got to seek all these different remedies because we haven't seen anybody couldn't cure themselves of any of these things. Some people are working hard at it, there's no question, but some people have to get to the top of the mountain. A lot of people are not visiting the top of the mountain, and sometimes it's going to take you to do that. Don't get frustrated. I can tell you that mostly, if you're not at that high level of fruit and intertwining some fruit fast, you could plateau and not get as deep as you would like. So if you're on raw and you reach a plateau, you dig deeper because you're going to see the difference. And a lot of you have already made great comments of the difference when you got into the fruit level. Okay. All right. So I didn't get much here, but I've got to go here, but I'll definitely revisit this. I apologize. I got carried away, but I did want to get into that the creation thing again. I'll stay away from that now, but I think it's important that one understands how creation's put together. And it's not a religious thing like I believe this and I don't believe this and this and this. It has nothing to do with this. How do we function? how is things put together? It's not a limit on God. It's not a belief system. It's not ideologies. It's facts. How factually? What do we know? How can we perceive? How can we go beyond this physical limitation where the awareness is extremely restricted, and how we can go and really balloon out there and see more of the all and enjoy the Supreme Being and understand how we and that are one. So I love you all. I apologize this isn't much longer, but I've got so much to do. I'm going on vacation here in a week and a half or so, so I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks maybe. But I'll get all caught up. I'll come in tomorrow, and I think I have to come in for somebody anyway. But I'll come in tomorrow and try to shoot an hour or two and catch up and get all your questions answered for you. So thank you so much, and thank you again for taking your time and viewing these videos. My heart is open to you. I thank you. I know God thanks you. You know, the light bearers. We are the light bearers, and I want you all to know that. You're great light bearers, and that's what this world needs, is all of you guys and bringing the light into this world so the constipation can be gone. See you later. Bye-bye. Wait a minute, I don't have my little hat, my little birthday hat. Oh, hello there, guys. I'm adding this to this segment of videos here because of this suffering young guy right here, Street Magic. Any guy with a name like that, man? You have the chronic cystic acne and stuff. You know what? Slow way down, man. Slow way down. The lymph node 2 capsules. I've informed the people back there to let people know about these because we've had to hire some new people. They weren't uninformed. That's our fault. We're just so busy. But slow way down. When you see this severe acne, you know your lymph system is really backed up. You know that your kidneys aren't filtering worth a squat and you have weak adrenals. So sometimes when you start detoxing, and I've mentioned this before, you can have more of an aggressive response. So slow way down. I would say use those kidney formulas and just use a little bit of lymphatic formula, like lymph node 2. If you got another lymphatic formula, use that for a while first until you break through with this, man, and you'll make it through this. Hang in there. Don't get discouraged. Call us. I mean, you're a case where we don't mind you calling us, because you're hurting, you're in trouble, and we teach you to back up and go a little slower, move more on the kidneys and adrenals, and less pulling lymph right now. You didn't know the lymph node 2 capsules were that aggressive. So you can do 1 capsule a day with that one, 1 twice a day with that one, or come off of that one and use a, say, lymphatic 4, which I would probably suggest that one first. I like that one first because of its astringent value on the kidneys themselves. It's not so aggressive, I don't think, systemically. But again, when you start moving the lymph system and those kidneys are not filtering, this is what you see, an exacerbation of the symptom. And we see a lot of people going out the skin badly. I hear you're suffering. So you got to slow down. At least work on the kidneys and adrenals with the raw foods. If any lymphatic formula is too much for you. Some people are so bad we have to slow way back up, and sometimes we have to jog right or we have to jog left. That's why I said a lot of videos ago that detoxification is an art.